Let's go!
Hey guys, Vape Chris here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Vape Chris, and I do videos on morbid and sometimes non-morbid topics in art, music, pop culture, social media, and more. And today we got a bit of a topic that's a bit morbid and non-morbid. I guess kind of morbid for the fact that it's about predators and, you know, stuff like that, or crimes, but besides that, it's a bit more tame than some of my other videos, but still, I'll give a little warning just for the sake of it, because I know people are going to not want me to give this video without a warning, as for the sensitive group of people that have trouble viewing that type of content, and that's no problem to me, honestly. But for that group of people, just a heads up, today we talk about some slightly possibly sensitive stuff, as for crimes, grooming, robbery, death, and stuff like that. So, just a warning, a trigger warning, please take this video with caution. Also, one more thing, I appreciate the good feedback I've been getting on my channel, constructive criticism from everybody. It helps me greatly as a content creator just as much as subscribing and liking my stuff does. And the views I've been getting have amazed me. I'm very happy with this this new goal I've had to make videos and provide for you guys on YouTube and stuff I've always wanted to do, and be as a content creator making stuff like this. So I appreciate you all giving me good feedback on my stuff. And without further ado, let's dive into it. Today we will talk about disturbing things musicians did. My name is Vape Chris, and I hope you enjoy. Let's dive in. Possessed is an American death metal band originally formed in 1982 in the San Francisco Bay Area, with Jeff Becerra on vocals and formerly Larry Lalonde, originally in Possessed, and later to go on in Primus, which would make many people familiar with the later on band, as Larry Lalonde joined Primus, and this brought later recognition and attention to the band. Also notably, the band was coined to be the founders of death metal itself, with having a song titled just simply Death Metal. And it's debated whether they or Death, as you know, Death released Scream Bloody Gore, and Possessed released Seven Churches, and it's debated which one is the first original death metal record ever to be released, but many say it's Possessed. A little bit, but not too long ago, allegations against the frontman Jeff Becerra came up that he was allegedly inappropriately texting a minor, saying some pretty wild stuff that was caught in some screenshots and even a video that I'll show you right here. This one allegedly shows him inappropriately joking with the minor, where it says, "Play bass, take selfies, be happy." And it says, "More short selfies, LOL." Where he responds with a heart and a 100 emoji, and then says, "No shorts." Then he says, "You say every like you have crushed through some numbers, lol, but I know you are innocent." Not really what he says in a really weird way. Innocent. And he says, "You are afraid to send short pics." Innocent with a heart. Really weird and just kind of creepy. And you know, it's just super weird. "You can be my deaf little Barbie." It's just so weird. It's death metal Barbie. She says, "Don't make me blush," and I'm assuming she's just playing along, but he says, "I like your cute pics and I'll send you some stuff." And I can only assume what that means, but then he says, "Gooning the poor thing." "Gooning? I do that," she says, and he says, "I'm sure you do," and just, it's so weird. Just hearing a minor allegedly and a grown person talk, like he says, "Well, yeah, I do watch that," and this message says deleted, so we can only assume what that is, but we're assuming it's some kind of inappropriate material from a website. "Not really? Yes, lol. I am not really into that, but occasionally I see. What's your favorite keyword, sir?" she asked. We can only assume what this means, probably again an inappropriate website. And here we see him sending a cat emoji and some water dripping emoji, which just is just so weird. I don't know if he's insinuating he wants to do some very gross things to this minor. And just go ahead and show, he says right here. And it's just so weird. It's so weird. Then we also have an audio clip of him saying he wants to make, quote, pretty little Mexican babies with the girl, which is just so weird.
"If I was your age, we would have had pretty little Mexican babies. Oh."
Then in a shocking twist of events this year, the guitarist of the Possessed, Brian Montana, was shot to death by police in a police shootout. Safe to say that Possessed is not doing too good in their band right now. Cancer Christ is a punk band from Los Angeles, California, formed very recently. The band quotes itself as being, I shit you not, a reptilian Christian Christ violence hardcore punk band from Los Angeles. That is quite possibly the longest and most useless name I've ever heard. And you'll see why I'm insulting him, as he did some pretty heinous things also, but in their own heinous ways, as they're equally heinous but also very terrible, and you'll see why. Now, in an article I found about them, it says that the vocalist, Anthony, found Christ after having a life of sin and darkness, and then devoted his life to making a Christ-devoted punk band, which is, again, very goofy and not the traditional punk basis, but okay. Not only long before this happened were there reports of them destroying a venue, trashing it, and then telling the staff venue who complained about them trashing it to go, quote, suck their C-O-C-K, if you know what I mean. But recently, in what appears to be some kind of manic episode or mental illness episode, allegedly the incident began at 1:45 p.m. when vocalist Anthony Melhaff walked into a diner and touched a pregnant waitress's stomach and said, quote, the spirits led me here, and your baby belongs to me. Just some very weird stuff, and it only got worse from there. After leaving the diner without paying, park rangers tried to stop him, and he crashed a car, stripped down to his underwear, stole somebody's bike, and took staff at a nearby lodge at knife point. So I guess this was an episode of mental health, but still, it's so crazy what happened, and knowing he was a singer of a band like this just adds on to it. Goat Lord is an American extreme metal band from Las Vegas, Nevada. Their work is originally a style of mix of doom metal and death metal. Now, the controversy they had was rather with one member only, and it was their guitarist, Joe Franklin. On October 2nd, 2015, Joe allegedly murdered two of his neighbors before turning the gun on himself. He fatally shot age 39 Jennifer Donanzo, a woman who lived 2 doors down from his house. He then took her 8-year-old son Lex back to his house and killed him before shooting himself. Allegedly, Joe had been acting very strange before, selling most of his possessions in his house for the past few weeks, and then barricading his house, who his neighbor said, who did not want to be identified. Police said that his house was covered in a mess and street signs and boards covered the windows. Las Vegas Metro had been called to the house to check on Joe multiple times, and the last time being about a week ago before it happened, neighbors said. Officers used a bullhorn to get him to come out. The home had been owned by his mother, who had passed away in 2007. So we're back to another video ending. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Paper Chris. Once again, I do morbid and sometimes non-morbid videos on topics in art, music, pop culture, social media, and more. And if you guys enjoyed the video, or if you're a new viewer or just a returning viewer, make sure to hit the like and sub button with notifications on. It greatly helps me as a content creator to keep producing stuff like this for you guys and push it out for you guys and keep you all happy. Thanks for watching. And I'd like to say thanks again for the feedback on my channel. We're halfway to 100 actually, 50 subscribers I believe. And I haven't checked it yet. I'm going to check it today once I upload this and I see if there's any new subscribers. But yeah, halfway to 100 almost. I appreciate all the good feedback on my channel. Even my girlfriend, she's saying like it comes so naturally and it's definitely your thing. So I appreciate you guys giving me good feedback and constructive criticism, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Bye.